All right, how are we doing today, guys? Today I'm gonna talk to you guys about creating the roof on your project. Now, some of you have probably really simple roof lines on your house, like the house, like the front of your house goes up and then it like angles up to the top of your roof and then comes back down. Some of you may have a little bit more elaborate roofs. Like if you guys recall my roof, it's basically on the back side, it's got that slope kind of going up. The sides actually angle up, they don't go straight, and then it angles like at the front as well. But there's this little weird jog that's in my roof where it steps back to the garage. And so as I've been creating my project, what I've done, you guys, is I took my cutout pieces. I told you guys not to glue stuff together, and I don't want you to do that necessarily yet. I mean, you could. The key here is that I use rubber cement, and I'm going to be able to take this and pull it apart. So I guess you could use tape. Maybe this is a good idea. So let's do this. Take your pieces out, like cut them out or whatever. You've scored the edges. You've made your tabs. Now go in, you guys, and kind of tape it together so that you can pull it apart. Or if you do have rubber cement, this stuff you can just like kind of pull apart pretty easily. So that might be a better solution if you actually have it. But if you don't have rubber cement, don't use regular glue because it's gonna be difficult. So use some tape and just tape together your project. So right now it's kind of sitting out, and so like now I have to try to figure out my roof line. Now, like I said, my pieces, it needs to kind of angle in like this and angle in like this, and it has a solid line kind of across the top, and then it's got this weird little jog, so I've got to do this extra strip, and this has got to be different. So like for mine, it's frustrating, like it's a little bit harder, and you guys, like I already kind of played through this whole thing, and it took me a lot longer than I thought it was going to. So originally, like what I did is I just took my ruler, and I tried to kind of measure out, like kind of, by having a ruler like this, I could kind of like take it in here, and I could be like, all right, I want my peak to come to here and to here, and I could kind of start to measure out, and I wrote down some notes. Sorry. I made some notes of just like how long like this edge was going to be and how long this was going to be, and like I made some little like, I don't know, I've got this little tiny document like right here, that guy right there, all right, of like what like the dimensions and stuff were going to be. So go through, you guys, and maybe start by doing that. Just kind of rough out some ideas. Now, just be prepared that it might not work out perfectly. All right, it might not be right. So what I want you guys to actually use, hold on just a second here. All right, to do this part of the project, I want you guys to use like a paper bag. All right, so find like a wooden bag or find some spare paper or whatever, and make it on here first. All right, the reason why I want you to do that is I feel like cardboard is probably scarcer, and if you screw up on the cardboard, then you're out that stuff, right? That material. So what I did is I played around with the paper bag, and if you could see my workspace here, you can, like there's like all this like scrap paper that like I ended up like making it too big, which is better. You want to make it too big instead of too small, and you can trim stuff down. But I made this little paper roof, all right here, and as you can see, all right, so like again, like my edges, they slope up. The back is just kind of like, it's all the same size, but the front, see if you can try to get it in the shot here. My front's got this like tiny little jog right here. So like it goes out and then it jogs down and then it cuts back. So like this side is actually smaller than this side, okay? And like you can barely just like see that in there. But anyways, I did it out of paper, all right? And by making it out of paper, like as I created it, I like made mistakes and I had to recut things. And like if you look at the bottom, like it's got all this tape on here and like all this different stuff on here. Like I spent a lot of time with making mistakes and trial and error. And maybe your math skills, maybe you're really good at like triangles and like understanding how this is all gonna work. And maybe like your roof line, like I said, it's 2 straight up triangles on each side. They like come up, and then you got a flat part and a flat part, and you just like measure your rectangles, and it's gonna be super easy. But if you got a more difficult roof line like mine, this is gonna take you a bit more time. So I want you guys today to start your roofs, all right? I want you to start the idea of it. You can see kind of like, like when I set this on here or whatever, You know, I'm gonna make it out of cardboard eventually, but it's got kind of a basic idea of like what this is gonna look like. So anyways, play around with it, you guys. Start to experiment, start to make mistakes. Remember, failing is such a huge part of learning. I failed a lot, and I'm okay with that. Like, this is, I mean, kind of the fun of like having this project and kind of just playing around with it. So make mistakes. Figure it out though. I'm gonna give you today, and I think I'm gonna give you tomorrow as well, because I think, you know, maybe for some of you this is gonna be really easy. I still haven't seen any of the pictures of your houses yet, you guys. So like, just post those up in your daily shares so that I can see them and just kind of see what you're working with. It'll help me have a better feeling of like what you're gonna be creating. So, and then if you have questions too, like I can help with that. If you have questions, you guys, remember from 10:40 to 11, like we have live chat time. And I'd be happy to just jump in and chat with you during then, because maybe that'll just be a little bit easier. And then maybe otherwise, you know, we can just go back and forth on your daily shares and just kind of discuss that. So anyways, if you have questions, let me know. Otherwise, you guys just start playing with this. Again, I don't have a clear-cut way to tell you how to do this because everybody's roof is different, all right? And because of that, you're gonna have to kind of do some experimentation. And like I said, do it in paper first. We'll switch it to cardboard. I'll talk about transferring it to the cardboard maybe tomorrow. But just play around with your roof today, you guys, and just see how you do. Don't get frustrated. Don't give up. I know sometimes like this stuff gets annoying and frustrating and hard, and I get it. Okay, like I said, I spent quite a bit of time trying to figure mine out. But you know what? Like, it's kind of fun. It's kind of cool. And when you finally do crack it, it's like doing a puzzle, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I get it. So anyways, have a great afternoon, you guys. I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.